Alrighty, y'all. Hello and welcome back to another motorsports video. This time we're looking at something I should have looked at long ago. I've been waiting forever for this. The BTCC, otherwise known as the British Touring Car Championship. Now, I don't know really anything about it other than I've gotten about 1 million suggestions for this, I think. And, you know, it looks to be, from screenshots I've seen and different suggestions, it looks to be right up my alley. I think it's going to be awesome to learn about. And, of course, the cars look super cool, man. A touring car series, I should say, from what I've seen and learned about over the last few years, are always awesome, right? I love the factory car element, how they're sort of near stock. I mean, obviously they're heavily modified for racing, but it still resembles a lot of cars that you would see on the street. You get some cool liveries, some awesome sounds, the whole 9 yards. I think they're really enjoyable. And I've heard classic BTCC is some of the, best racing you can get. So I'm really stoked for this. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot to learn about. This will be an ongoing series. This is just our introduction to it right here. So we'll be looking at some random clips. These will all be linked down below so you can watch these whole videos and, of course, browser channels. Let's check out some British Touring Car Championship. Sorry, let's do that one. There we go.
And Winkelhock is going for it, and Winkelhock goes ahead, pulls out, goes ahead of his teammate, and goes off. Oh, we're with Winkelhock. So Ravalia leads, Rydell is second, Menu is third, Joachim Winkelhock goes back to fourth place in the twinkling
Oh, yeah.
of an eye. We're with him.
I'm going to like this for sure. I wish I could drive this. How fun does that look?
Now,
wow.
And that's Menu's Renault ahead. He's got it all to do again, if he can, that is. Because they know what moves he's going to be making.
I'm assuming these are like probably smaller 6-cylinders or possibly 4-cylinders, but you get some nice screaming engine noises. You get that awesome gearbox whine, right, from presumably straight cut gears in this thing. Dude, I bet these handle extremely well.
Oh, he's down to fifth now because
this looks fun. I see Volvos, Audis, BMWs.
In the four-wheel drive Audi. We're back again with Winkelhock.
Renaults, I think I saw in there.
Oh, he doesn't like Wheeler. Shakes his fist. Dummkopf, he says, at the man in front of him. And it's as you were at Riches. Ravalia, Rydell, Menu, Wheeler. That's Winkelhock in fifth position.
Yeah, these things are fast, dude.
Alton Park always presents the championship with a different
Oh, so it's standing start.
kind of challenge.
Nice,
An
okay.
all Audi front row for race one was thanks largely to damp qualifying
Vauxhall's
sessions.
in there.
The
Cool.
chaos at the start was due to Alton's narrow confines. Radicic getting a tap from Ravalia.
And you get some crashes, as you would with most
was
motorsports.
the man in the barriers within a few yards of the green light. Then after 11 laps, the Volvo of Kelvin Burt nudged off on the approach to Cascades. Sickening impact.
Whoa.
And the unconscious Burt would need intensive medical.
That's actually scary, unconscious. Volvos are safe, so I suppose this thing's
treatment.
the car you want to be in, especially at race
Winkelhock
trim.
forced himself into the lead, and at this point,
Love it. Look at the safety car. It's an old Jag. That's actually,
11 laps.
what kind of Jaguar is that? That thing is really cool. I know that's not even part of it. I geek over cars, you know me. That thing's cool. I feel like this is a big engined car, right here. I know it's not part of the series. I feel like that's probably a V8 or maybe even didn't Jags use V12s sometimes?
It's gone. The race was abandoned. Winkelhock the winner. Long term, Kelvin Burt would need some time to
these things
recover
are cool,
from this
dude.
accident. But thankfully, he would be okay.
They have a great
An onboard
stance.
replay showing how fine is the margin of error, how strong the penalty at Alton
man.
Park.
Yeah, that's rough. Wow.
Race 2, equally incident-packed. Winkelhock prevented from making it a double success after making contact with Bincliffe at Knickerbrook. The German
That's
left
not a bad
fuming
one,
by
in
what
comparison.
he regarded as deliberate blocking tactics.
Oh, I'm sure, just like any racing series, I'm sure you have heated, maybe not heated, but, some sort of rivalries going on. You have some fierce competition, you could say, a lot of tactics, right? I'm sure there's some contact allowed, right? Because every racing series seems to have different rules on what you can do. Rubbin's racing, right? That's the old saying, at least over here. So I'm sure you're allowed some contact, but if it's deemed that you legitimately, pit maneuvered somebody, spun them out, I'm sure that's going to be some sort of a penalty, right? These Renaults in front are really cool. I couldn't tell you the models, but I know like the brands at least. I love the yellow and blue paint job. I mean, some of these liveries and paint schemes on older race cars are just iconic, man. I love them.
Away they go. It's a great start by Winkelhock. He comes through. And
those Beamers look nice too. I'm usually not a fan of BMWs, but these older ones like this,
the right-hander up towards
they're sharp.
The complex. Campbell, Cobb, and Seagrave. And he's
oh my God, look at that.
And now he's hit Hoy.
Whoa, dude, what?
Both off.
Are these guys teammates? Or when you see that, it's usually, right? Are they the same team? Dude, they spawn into each other from that, from the white car.
One of them's a Vauxhall, another one's a Volvo.
I got pushed off by Ravalia.
Oh my God, how frustrating.
Well, whoever started it, both the Renaults are out. And there is Alain Menu, very unhappy indeed. Kelvin Burke's Volvo.
The Volvos are.
The race, and we're with Winkelhock.
Volvos are hella cool, dude.
Winkelhock, he's last, and
he's pissed.
Way behind.
Right? He is hella pissed.
Leslie leads in the Honda. Beeler is second.
There's a Honda in there?
Third, and number one, John Cleland in the Vauxhall Vectra, is in 6th place.
A Vauxhall Vectra. I have to learn about Vauxhall. I don't even know what that is. Looks kind of cool. Here's some more modern footage of one of these 90s Volvos running. I wish it didn't have music. Oh my God. Okay, that has such a unique sound. What? Is that a 5-cylinder? Don't Volvos use those? Dude, that sounds so crazy. It's awesome. It's just so weird. The engine sound up front when it's coming at you is freaking glorious. Dude, that is crazy. And don't get me wrong, it is a great looking car. Right? That thing is awesome. Dare I say the sound is like more exotic than the looks of the car. This thing is crazy. I mean, it just looks so fun. Whoa, was that the rear tire off the ground? I was like, why is that tire not spinning? It's off the ground, isn't it? Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, these things are tuned, man. Hella stiff, obviously, made for handling. I'm assuming these things are pretty light because they're already mostly pretty like compact cars, and then they're totally gutted. I'm not sure if panels are replaced with something lightweight, but you can tell. You can tell these things are lightweight, tuned up. I don't know what these are making for power, but because they have such a planted, chassis and suspension. Obviously, most likely racing slicks or some sort of racing tire. They don't need, huge amounts of power. Although these engines sound like they're running pretty healthy, if you get my drift. These things are probably making, I would guess, even in the 90s, maybe like 350, 400 horsepower. That would be my guess. I think these things could even get away with 300 or high 200s. But I would assume they were making a little more than that. And here's like a short of one of these Peugeots. This is a 406. So again, a car I don't really know about. I'm very new to that brand in general. But I tell you what, everything I've learned about them, I like. And that's talking about their, their regular street cars. This is a race car, of course. I absolutely, for one, love the livery on this. How unique is this? You have this, dark green, which is always sharp, with gold, like, liquefied flames on it, and gold wheels. Green and gold goes together well. That was my color, in sports in high school, and the green and gold I thought was always awesome, for a team colors. So even on a race car, I mean, this looks hella cool. Great looking car. Again, I love the stance on these things. These are sharp, dude. Let's hear it. This is just a short video. That thing is freaking cool. Damn, they're loud. Wow, that looks like so much freaking fun to drive. I feel like they're one of those race cars. Remember, I look at some race cars, and even as a car guy that loves, engines, that loves loud sounds, that loves, speed, there are some cars that actually legitimately scare me that I've seen, right? There are some cars, even as a car guy, I would not technically want to drive. I'd be kind of freaked out by them. Like, that car's too much, right? There are some cars out there like that. I would be all over these because I know these things are probably faster than people think. They definitely look fast on camera, and that's saying something. So they're not a slouch at all. I know these things are fast. I feel like they're very well put together, though. Like, they're fast and they're controlled and they're balanced. That's the drift I get from these. And so I feel like these would be like one of the most perfect race cars someone could drive as like a newbie, right? I feel like they would be somewhat forgiving, obviously, compared to like throwing some average Joe into a Formula One car. I think that'd be legitimately dangerous. In other words, I want to drive one of these, right? If I were to pick like a race car to drive, totally new to this, I already know these would be like at the top of my list. These are freaking awesome. Then we have a little bit of onboard from a Renault Laguna from 97. So same era as well. Yeah, those things are awesome. Totally gutted. Racing seat. Harness, sparkle wheel. This thing, I wonder if that was original from 97. Did they have like a Motec screen like this? I assume probably by 97 they had that. Maybe not. But either way, all you have is a dash. And I see carbon bits in here. Otherwise, it's totally gutted. This looks like, judging from these turns, right? Go like those U-shaped going down and then back up. Is this Brands Hatch in the UK? That's a fun track. I've played that in the racing sims. It's actually really fun. It can be a tricky track too. It can throw you off. Some of those turns, they're hard to get right. They're one of those where they look long and sweeping, but they'll get you. Yeah, this thing sounds awesome as well. This one to me sounds like a 4-cylinder. That Peugeot from the last clip sounded almost like a 6-cylinder. The Volvo sounded like a 5-cylinder. I could have those all wrong, but you gotta let me know. But consider me an instant fan of these 90s BTCC cars. Holy smokes. I feel like 90s, man, was almost peak motorsport for a lot of different series. You just had enough tech now by the 90s, right? Where you have, these really fast transmissions and, you have some electronic aids. Not really aids like traction control and stuff, because that's annoying. No one likes that stuff, right? But, you had the ability to have stuff like that if you wanted. Otherwise, even just with interior, right? Like screens and lights and stuff, everything was better in the 90s versus like the 70s or something, of course, right? Probably, safety and stuff. 90s was like a good, like perfect gap between, the old world, old classic stuff that's awesome and raw, but obviously very dangerous and less sophisticated as well. And then, of course, new stuff, which, some people consider more almost neutered, right? Like it's too much tech and too much, regulation and stuff. So I feel like the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s for most series, were the golden age, man. And it definitely looks like that for touring cars.
Welcome back to Donington Park and to the Jake Hill Racing YouTube channel, where today I'm in the Peugeot 406. And
that's the car we saw in that shorts.
Paul Radisich car from 1998.
The shorts video.
It is a real treat because this is my third Super Tourer car now that I've driven.
Oh,
and
man.
Yeah, we're going to show you around. See what you
Dude, good for this guy. That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. Getting to, obviously, this is a modern video, by the way. This will be linked down below. I'm only going to show a minute or two. Remember, all these will be linked. I encourage you to watch them all. This is cool. Getting to drive in 90s, you know, British touring car.
What do you think of this one?
How freaking cool is that?
Into the passenger door first of all.
Oh, yeah, so this is right-hand drive. Oh, my God, look at that. It's signed.
And you can see, first of all, how cool is that? Paul himself has actually signed the car.
That's awesome.
1998, Paul Radisich, number 11. That is a really nice touch. But inside, the quality, as always, with any Super Tourer, is absolutely second to none. Again, just littered with carbon fibre.
Yeah, carbon fiber makes up most of the dash. I love looking at the controls here. We have something, probably like an ignition switch here, and then possibly a starter button as well. Probably screen controls or just to turn the screen on, maybe. What's this say? Protection, low, rear, front. Okay. Now, I wonder what these levers are for. Obviously, this is your sequential shifter. And I don't know. I can't see what these are. There's actually a lot of switches in here. And you even have HVAC controls, which I'm pretty sure those might not be connected to anything. I'm gonna guess that they weren't cranking the AC during the race.
We've got adjustable.
Get to rob yourself some horsepower.
Bars again. So we've got the rear one, the littler one on the left, and the taller one on the right. And with these ones, you push down and then move. So you push, move, and let go. So
okay, that is so cool. Those are how you adjust your sway bars or roll bars then.
Really nice.
Very
this
cool.
One's just keyed. You can see the little keyways there.
Wow,
so
that is awesome.
Slots in, and you know exactly where you are with it. This is all a little bit more accessible than the Honda was in terms of switches. So you've got all your switches just.
Oh, that is so cool that he showed this.
There. This is a Hewland 6-speed gearbox, so slightly different to what we had with the Honda and with the Primera that I've driven before. Funnily enough, some of the air vents actually work in this car, which is really cool compared to the Honda and the Nissan. But yeah, all the switches are definitely a little bit more in touch. As we move into the back.
The rear doors open? They do. Wow. A little bit hard to get in. and a little bit uncomfortable in the back compared to the street version.
How low everything is. It is ridiculous, really. And that view there.
It's cool seeing these, though, man, inside
the car. Wow. And even the fact that the control box there is tilted, towards the driver, just makes life so much easier.
Yeah, I love. I've always loved driver-focused interiors, right? It does make a difference, I think. When everything is angled towards the driver, and it's just so much. I think it's aesthetically more pleasing. Not to mention, of course, it's more functional, right? It does make a difference. It's weird. It's not a huge deal, but there are certain cars I've driven or had or whatever where it's just not driver focused, right? So it's just neutral and everything's flat and facing straight back, and some of the buttons are a little awkward to hit, or maybe the light is coming in is like glares on one of them or something. All that's kind of prevented when it's driver focused. So I've had, of course, vehicles that have had that, and I've always preferred it. I didn't have any of the issues I had with neutral dashboards, right? So that is a good touch, and even cool to see in a race car, of course. You would especially want that in a race car since you're going to be the only one in there. And you need everything very easily accessible if you're in the middle of a race doing, 100-something miles an hour and competitors right near you within, a couple feet of you. Now, this, by the way, this is so cool that he's doing this. This is like what I totally am into. I love nerding out about race cars, and when like I said, when I learn stuff, I go in depth. This is awesome. We see the racing slick here. And, you know, we have the hood popped on this thing. The front fascia is completely off, so we can see everything exposed. I think this is cool, dude.
So
getting
I just thought I'd show
up
you
close
some
look.
of the hidden gems behind the front bumper.
Very
of this
big
Peugeot
intake
406.
system.
Just look at the ducting and how well thought out it is.
Yeah.
The centerpiece there goes up to the airbox for the intake.
Wow.
And then you've got the two massive mouths either side for the radiators.
I was going to say those are the radiators, right?
The coolers that are behind it. Wow. But also how it vents back. So we've even got the side ones there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Got the twin caliper brakes.
Ooh, twin calipers.
Set up. The same.
Wow. I wonder if they're twin, maybe two-piston calipers. Obviously, racing brakes.
As the Honda, pretty much the same calipers as well. And you can see the dampers. It's all just
everything's
really,
adjustable.
really nicely done.
So cool, dude.
The brake feel that you get from these calipers is second to none. It really is. But another thing that I just found
these were
absolutely
excellent for the
fascinating,
90s,
something we don't
man.
have
Wow.
With a touring car today,
Kind of
these
a,
gas struts that hold the
probably
front,
one of the best race
front
cars of the
flooring.
time.
So these move up and down, as you can see here with the front bumper.
Oh, I see.
To these clevises just there. And it basically, when the floor has a hit from beneath, when you take too much curb, it pushes itself all the way up, which I just find absolutely fascinating.
Wow, yeah, very thought out, very engineered. These things were kind of advanced,
From an engine side
right?
view,
I mean, these are
it's
20
a pretty
years
special
old.
Bit of kit. Super low again. You know, when you compare the scuttle panel height, you
Or,
can't
I'm sorry, 20 years old. More like almost 30 years old.
even
That's
see
what
the
I meant.
engine. It's purely airbox. And then this one, as I said before, is fitted with a Hewland 6-speed sequential, and you push forward to get first gear,
Right.
and then second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, you pull up as normal with a sequential gearbox. So,
Yeah.
but it's really, really nicely done. Got a little gearbox cooler here. We've even got this little water tank here. That is for the water-cooled brakes. So the brakes themselves, the twin caliper brake setup, is water-cooled. So that's a tank that sits there
wild.
and feeds those brakes during a race distance, which is fascinating. Even the steering box, so the steering column.
So these things could do long-term. What are some of the longer races that these cars would have been participating in? Because we all know how cars are. You know, I think to some degree anyone could build a car really fast, but building a car that's fast and can hold up, right, can be reliable, is a different story. That's a totally different story.
Inputs comes out through this junction box, and it runs in the middle of the fuel rail. I mean, how mental is that? You know, who thought, I'll tell you what, that's a good idea. Let's put it through there. But it works, you know. We've got oil tank here, so obviously she's dry sump. It works,
These things
We've
are
got
well thought out.
oil
Also, what is this? Why is the steel logo on here on the valve cover? You know, random fact here, guys. The reason I'm pointing that out is this brand, that's the same logo, same font and everything of the brand that makes landscaping equipment. Like literally, you know, mowers, weed eaters, trimmers, hedge cutters, all those things, right? The landscaping tools, backpack blowers, you name it. Very reputable brand, the go-to pretty much for any professional landscaper here in America. And I just learned recently that they were, I believe, a German company, which I did not know. I very much cliche assumed that they were American, and they're not. So, but I would not expect to see them on a valve cover in a race car. That's weird. Maybe as a sponsor on the side of the car, but that doesn't look like a sponsor placement to me. So that's kind of interesting. Anyone know the answer to that? Here's a look at it all assembled, and we'll look at just a couple minutes driving, and then we'll end it there. This is an awesome video. Of course, most of this not shown here. Please check it out. This is cool. I'm going to be checking out more in my spare time of this, guys. This is really a good video. Look at that. Lowered right onto the ground. Oh, that thing is too cool, man. Too freaking cool. Now, does this car not have reverse? Is that why they're wheeling it out like that by hand? I suppose it might not. A lot of race cars don't have reverse. How thrilling. Thing sounds awesome, by the way. Dude, that thing is hella cool. This is another track I know from the games, Donington Park, he said. It's an awesome track as well. Damn. What a dream, dude. Great sound. Oh my god, look at that Mini. Dude, I would be, like I said, I would love to drive this. I would be a little afraid, of course, right? When you're driving like an older race car that's in beautiful shape, and of course from a different era and has been kept nice and restored and whatever. I would just be that little bit of pressure, like, don't mess up. Don't put it in the wall. That thing is awesome. And he is flying through the field. I know it's a mixed class field, probably just some sort of track day with different series, but still, he is just running through the pack, dude. Clutch slip, uh-oh. Hey, that's motorsports, though. Race cars always got little issues. You can't get rid of them all. Can't get rid of all the issues. They're always going to have some. Oh, yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it slipping. And then finally, to end it, let's go here so you can see. These are just what Google pulls up right away for some 90s BTCC photos. Absolutely love the Volvos. I mean, it's a wagon. Come on. How freaking cool is that, dude? How cool is that? These Vauxhalls. Very interesting. Definitely have to learn about them. I love this fan blade, or like those. Oh, that's not the word. What's the word for these? I can't remember. Some of the Audis in the 80s had these wheels that had like the vents like that and that solid piece. Anyway, very cool to see that. This is a cool car. Vauxhall Vectra. I know nothing about it, but I like it. All of these liveries are honestly awesome. Ooh, I definitely have to learn about this. Alfa Romeo. That thing is sharp. Wow, is that thing sharp. Dude, what a cool car, man. And this, I guess I have heard a little bit about the BTCC because, and I'm talking like 15, no, even longer than that, probably like 15, 16 years ago. My first car was a Ford Contour, which, of course, in Europe was the Ford Mondeo. And guess what? This exact era, mine was a 96, and they used them in the BTCC. So how cool. There it is. That's what it looked like, minus the Valvoline livery. And, a little bit higher ride height and not those racing slicks or those wheels. But you get the gist. Yeah, that is cool to see that as well. I'm not surprised because that car handled pretty well, honestly. It was very, very balanced and easy to drive, on the limit, if that makes sense. So that's going to do it for our first introduction, kind of just winging it here. First look at the BTCC, especially in this case, the British Touring Car Championship. Please leave your comments and thoughts down below, and of course suggestions, because we can take this in a lot of directions. I want to, of course, do more with this and learn more about it. I want to try it on the racing sims because I haven't really driven any of these on any of the sims I have currently, although I'm sure I can find these in some of these games. But yeah, you want my opinion? I'm hooked. I'm hooked. These are cool. I kind of thought they would be cool. I had good expectations, and they exceeded them. These are awesome. Because with the exception of, I'm sure some enthusiasts here and there, I don't, hear anyone talking about this, around the block around here ever. So once again, the European motorsports strike gold. There's just so many awesome motorsports overseas, and I freaking love it. But I appreciate you watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.